Professor of Capital Market Ushe Waleke urged CBN to cut CRR for commercial banks to 25%. Of course, CBN did the same to Mashad Bank, where it cut their CRR to 10%. Welcome to Business Daily. I am Yusuf Akogo. Let's take our business top stories. Glad to have you back. Now let's look at commodity prices of commodities as they are currently in the market. Now I'll bring you some of the prices from groundnut in Nigeria here. A price in Bodija market down there in Oyo State is going for 32,000 naira. Well, while one Congo same in Bodija market in Oyo State is about 400 naira. Of course, groundnut 100 kg in Dawano market in Kano, Northwest Nigeria, it's about 20,500 naira. Of course, in same Dawano market, one tier is actually 520 naira. Of course, same in Gboko market, the price of groundnut 100 kg bag is about 27,000 naira. Of course, same in Gboko market, one mudu is 200 naira. In Mile 12, a very popular market in Lagos State, southwestern Nigeria, is going for 32,000 naira. While one paint bucket at Mile 12 is 1,050 naira. If you go down to south Nigeria, in Delta State to be precise, in Igbudu market, 100 kg bag is going for 34,000 naira. While go down the same in Igbudu market, one paint bucket is 1,300 naira. If you go to southeast in Umuahia, Abia State, is 100 kg is 27,000 naira. While one paint bucket is going for Nkwo Newi market, that is Enugu State, is 23,000 naira for 100 kg bag. While one paint bucket, same in Nkwo market, is 950 naira. Price of sorghum is also very high there and is projected to go higher. Currently is 100 kg bag in Meitagari market in Jigawa State, that is in northwestern Nigeria, is about 30,000 naira. Of course, in Gboko, in that is north central Nigeria, Benue State, is about 32,000 naira. In Ashua market in Kaduna, that is also northwestern Nigeria, is about 32,000 naira. Not much different from what we have in north central state of Benue. Of course, if you go down to Night Mile market in Enugu State, southeastern Nigeria, is about 24,000 naira for 50 kg bag. And in Mile 12 market in Lagos, same 50 kg bag is going for 26,000 naira. And in Ughelli main market in Delta State is going for 35,000 naira. Down there in Umuahia main market in Abia is 36,000 naira. Of course, prices of yam in Nigeria, of course, yam have become a very scarce commodity these days. Nigerians are finding it very difficult to eat yam. Yam was once a staple food in Nigeria. Is gradually getting out of the reach of the common man. In Abuja here, a large yam is about 1,700, between 1,700 to 3,000, and it's even projected that the prices will go up higher. And the medium yam is around 1,100 to 2,000, and of course the regular large yam is about 1,800 to 2,000. 1,500, while the medium is between 1,000 and of course 1,700. Huge prices of commodity there, you will say. Of course, we'll keep track prices of commodity to bring you up to speed with prices of food in the market. Of course, this will enable you to plan your spending. Now we go to the stock market to see how the market fared on Friday. The market closed negative. After days of rally, it seems these profit takers are actually very prominent in the market. Indeed, they are taking profit from their investment there. We look at the market closer negative there. The all-share index down there 0.29%, and of course the index within the last 3-4 days has lost close to almost 1 trillion, over 900 billion. The market has lost within this period. Of course, the volume of trade on the day on Friday 600.487 million volume of shares in the deals of over 8.82 billion. And of course, in terms, the value, in terms of deals, 9,554 deals actually exchange hands among investors for the day. Of course, the market has indeed lost momentum, and of course, profit taking is indeed very happening now in the market. So let's look at the gainers for the day. We have the likes of NASCON. They gained 10% on the day, as well as the case may be, to close at 28.05 28 naira 05 kobo per share. Of course, while John Hurt also gaining 9.70% to close positive 1 naira 81 kobo. The shares price closed at Sky Aviation also close positive 9.67% to close positive 4 naira 75 kobo. It ended on the day. Indeed, not so interesting performance. Some of the stocks are not some of the high cap stocks on the day. Of course, some of the high cap stocks are actually facing profit taking from their investors. On the losing side, we have Flour Mill. Flour Mill lost 10% indeed on the day as well, to close the price of the share closed downward there, 13 naira 60 kobo there, followed closely by UACN, of course also losing 10% on the day to close at 9 naira per share. While Wema Bank completing the top losing three losers for the day, 10% it also lost to also close negative there, 4 naira and 5 kobo. The price of the share closed on the day. Let's look at the top traded equities. Of course, we have Access Bank Holdings trading 94.2 million volume of shares, followed by UBA also trading 54.1 million shares, and of course Fidelity Bank, also trading 48.7 million volume of shares. Let's see how this is reflecting in the performance of the sector. Of course, the banking sector closing negative there, 4.42%. Like I told you, all the banking stocks were actually on the top traded active or top on the activity chart, but again not in the positive side, as you can see reflecting in the performance of the sector. Profit taking, like I said earlier, was very prevalent. The industrial sector closing positive 1.28%, the only sector that closed positive on Friday, while consumer goods down 0.83%, oil and gas 0.68%. Of course, the insurance sector, one of the worst loser of the day, 4.03% it lost on the day. Of course, let's look at the performance across the rest of from the rest of Africa. GSE in Johannesburg in South Africa also closing positive there, 0.56%. The index added over 400 basis points. It added to the share index there. In Kenya, in Nairobi Stock Exchange closed negative 0.24%. It ended 113.93 basis point. The index maintained the position there. And GSE in Ghana, of course, one of the market closer to us here in West Africa, closed positive 0.1%. It ended, and of course the index also maintaining way above 2,000, very close to 3,000 basis point, but not yet closer to that point there. These are the performance, or the highlight of the performance of the market across Africa on Friday. The market is on as usual. We'll keep a tab on it to give you updates of what is happening on the floor of various markets across the continent. Now, I have joining me now is an economist, a stockbroker, Steve Nwachukwu, to speak to us about the performance of the market. Good morning, Mr. Steve.
And thanks for having
me. Always a pleasure having you. Last week, we saw the market hitting an all-time high of over 65,000 basis points. Just when we're about to celebrate, we saw that the profit taking has indeed setting in the market. So why do you think that the investors are actually back at this time to sell some of their shares for cash?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, it's one of the normal things that is expected to happen in the markets, in the sense that profit taking, when you have a consistent 2, 3, 4, 1 week or 2, 3 weeks of bullish run, investors will do their calculation and be able to know where they have made so much profit. In fact, some stock got up to 60%, some 70%, some 100%. So it was quite a good time for investors to restock and take profits and re-strategize to move into other stocks they think is more profitable. And also giving in mind that we are expecting the half-year financial statements to be coming into the market as we speak. A couple of them have already come in, like the UCAP having about 6-7% increase in the top line and bottom line. So we're expecting such kind of results also to hit the market so that investors will weigh in this very option. Like I said earlier, it is expected that when prices rallies up, next thing in line will be investors taking profit, and that has happened. Most of these stocks that is what we call price correction. The prices have been corrected. Those who apparently is overvalued are now being valued based on their EPS. By the time the second quarter report comes in, investors will still value them furthermore based on the fundamentals, based on the healthiness, the strength, and the growth found in those very financial statements. So it is expected that when prices rallies, investors will take profits and restock once again.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. So you don't think the government policies is in any way impacting on the market? Recall there was a pronouncement last week that the palliative will be given to Nigerians. About 12 million families will receive 8,000 palliative per month, 8,000 naira per month to about 12 million families. Do you think this news that is coming, are you impressed by that news, or do you think this is in a way creating doubt among investors coming into the market?
Well, to be honest, the news of the 500 billion request palliative by the Villa or the presidency has no bearing in the market, in the sense that it's more like a stipends, a cash out to vulnerable and poorest of the poor of Nigeria. So it may not have any direct impact in quoted stocks at the floor of Nigerian exchange, in the sense that because you are going to be giving Nigerians cash, you can't guide their spending. But if you had said, okay, I'm going to build this power plant and I'm going to consult Transcorp, one of its subsidiary, to be able to build this power plant. Now you will see the price of Transcorp going up because federal government is trying to channel in this very money in building of a power plant. Or you said, okay, I'm going to buy some food items, and I'm going to buy like sugar, I'm going to buy like salt, I'm going to buy this. So you start seeing some stocks like Dangote Sugar or the NASCON, those are related in that going up. But as it stands now, it is a cash payout to Nigerians. Based on the last information we have from the government, it will be a 8,000 payment to about 12 million households. So it may not have direct impact in the quoted stocks at the floor of Nigerian Stock Exchange, because you cannot direct the spending of this very fund, and you don't know which company quoted at the floor that will be a beneficiary to it. So it doesn't have a direct connection, a direct bearing to either swing the market negative or positive.
Yeah, Mr. Steve, why I asked that question is that when the new government comes in, there was so much excitement from the investors. Many said, oh, the government has hit the ground running. But again, about close to 50 days into the new government, Nigerians are not really finding this easy. The investors not in any way sitting on the window to see what will happen before they bring in their money.
Okay, now if we have to look at the general policy direction or general few of the policies that the federal government have recently pronounced or announced to Nigerian, those that have been directly impactful to the Nigerian market are that of the removal of the fuel subsidy and that of the unification, the quest to unify the exchange rate, or what you call the flotation of the exchange rate. Those two has direct principles or direct impact in the market. That of fuel subsidy, you will recall that a good number of quoted companies, a good number of major markets, major oil marketers are quoted at the exchange, in the sense the likes of MISIX, the likes of African Petroleum, which is called Adova, the likes of Wando, the likes of a good number, Cornell, and Total, name it. A good number of them are quoted at the floor of Nigerian exchange, in the sense that a good number of them also had a good volume of petroleum product in their custody, in their storage. By the time the NNPC adjust that price, they had a lot of profit, a lot of income as a result of that. So it actually reflected, it will reflect in their book, and that given while investors we are trying to take and cash in and take position in those companies, so that by the time the second or third quarter or fourth quarter is made available, they will be taking part in that very huge profit, due to the reserves, due to the storages, due to the inventories in their book. So that actually affected the market positively. And that of the unification also, we saw a sort of bank coming back alive, in the sense that yes, you removal of the CBN, former CBN governor, ironically spring a lot of surprise in the banking stocks, as if the former governor was who had been sort of fighting them, or the commercial bank, or the policies of the former governor weren't good for the commercial bank. We saw an upsurge in the prices of these quoted companies at the banking sector. So that is another sector that was also affected, that saw the rises, and it rubbed off on other stocks at the floor of Nigerian Stock Exchange. So given the fact that the bullish run was engineered by these two key sectors, the oil and gas and the banking, that was the two key sectors that engineered the bullish run. Have in mind, the bullish run is a segment or a sentiment in the market where prices of equities goes up, irrespective of their fundamental. There was no better news about their earnings and all that, but they were all going up. That is what defines a bullish market. So the rest of the market was rough off. Even the likes of the dark communication is already going up as we speak now. In fact, that communication topped the chart on the gainers list at the end of the trading last week. So it gained close to 50% last week. So these are the news that have been rubbing off on other stocks, both at the top, the blue chip, and the penny stocks.
Now, just like you rightly mentioned, the banking sector, of course, the oil and gas sector are the key drivers of the market. But again, those two sectors have been in deep red now for 3 or 4 days running. Of course, the trading is on as we speak. What is your own prediction? Are we going to see the BS continue to dominate the market, or are there likely going to be a rebound today?
So I expect that the bear will not stay too long, in the sense that besides these very euphorias of policies of government that have rubbed off on the markets, given the rise in the banking and the oil sector, the market on its own has its own fundamentals, in the sense that in our banking stocks, in our oil and gas, in the industrial stocks, they are very rich companies that pays nothing less than 10%. That's based on their EPS, their earning per share. So most of them in the banking stock have maintained this very trajectory or consistency in paying our dividends in the region of 10%, 12%, 13%, and thereabout. So these are fundamentals of these stocks, and that is what will speak for most of these stocks, in the sense that the bear will set in NGX. We have witnessed a 3-4 day trading bears, but these fundamentals is what will revive or rekindle the confidence of investors. And we have also started seeing an inflows of the foreign investors tripling into the market due to the rich fundamentals of most of these stocks. Yes, a couple of them are selling above their fair value, are selling above their values, and by the time the correction sets in, they will reflect their real prices. And like I said, the fundamentals are still there, given the fact that Dangote Cement is also impacting on what they call share buyback, showing that the stock or the company is quite fundamental and financially liquid to go back to buy its own shares to the tunes running in billions. So that tells you the fundamentals of a stock. You had recently the acquisition of Standard Chartered Banks, a subsidiary in Africa, by Access Bank. It also tells you the fundamentals of such stock. They are financially or liquidly strong enough. So that will be the fundamental things that be driving this price, or that be keeping the pool within the market corridor.
Steve Nwachuko, economist and stockbroker, I must thank you for your time on Business Daily today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Even at a very, very short notice, you're able to come on board. We appreciate it. Well, we take a quick break. When we come back, the program continues. Have you back? It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Before we go on the show, let's show you some of the foreign direct investment inflow into Nigeria in the first quarter of 2023. Of course, 28 states of Nigeria failed to attract foreign direct investment. 28 states out of 36 states failed to attract foreign direct investment into their state. The states are Abia, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Ebonyi, Edo, Enugu, of course, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara states. These are the 28 states that failed to attract foreign direct investment into their state for the first quarter of 2023. Of course, the states that actually attracted FDI within this period, of course, states like Lagos State attracted $704.87 million dollars in terms of foreign direct investment. This represents about 62% of the total foreign direct investment that came into Nigeria within that period. Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, closely followed with $410.27 million dollars in terms of FDI attraction within that period. This amount represents 36% of the total foreign direct investment within the period. Akwa Ibom State, of course, also attracted 5.21 million volume of foreign direct investment, while Adamawa State attracted 4.50 million FDI. Anambra followed on the 5th there, $4 million. Ogun State, 2.09 million. Of course, Niger State, $1.50 million dollars. And of course, Ondo, about $20,000 foreign direct investment. And of course, Ekiti State also about $10,000 of foreign direct investment it attracted within the period. So these are the performance of states in terms of attracting foreign investment into the country in the first quarter of 2023. Abysmal performance by about 28 states, you will say, apart from Lagos and of course the Federal Capital Territory and a few other states. Many of the states are actually did not really do well. Probably many of them were actually focusing on the election at that period of time. Well, with that is a wrap on the business program today. Join us tomorrow for more. I am Yusuf Akogu.